Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Evening Devotion. Tonight, we're going to be reading out of Lamentations 3:21. This I recall to my mind, therefore have I hope. You guys know that it is believed that Jeremiah wrote most, if not all, of the book of Lamentations. They know for sure he wrote a couple parts, but they think it's possible he wrote the whole thing, which is very interesting. What's interesting about that is that if you look at his prophecies, his book of prophecies, and then look at this, it really starts to give you an interesting time frame for the book of Lamentations, and it kind of paints a more of a prophetic picture about that book. So it's pretty interesting. And you notice the theme here. The theme since the beginning of the year, what's it been? Hope, strength, encouragement, keep going. We're almost to the end. That's a natural thing for the Lord to start doing, is to give us these gifts and give us these amazing understandings so that we will have more hope and so that we will hang on and so we will have strength. Let's read this in its context. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start in verse 14. I have become the ridicule of all my people, their taunting song all the day. If you remember from the book of Jeremiah, which we did that, I have a playlist for that. That was the case. They mocked Jeremiah. That's why he's called the weeping prophet. He went through a lot. He has filled me with bitterness. He has made me drink wormwood. He has also broken my teeth with gravel and covered me with ashes. You have moved my soul far from peace. I have forgotten prosperity. And I said, my strength and my hope have perished from the Lord. Remember my affliction and roaming, the wormwood and the gall. My soul still remembers and sinks within me. This I recall to my mind, therefore I have hope. Through the Lord's mercies we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. Now, first he's talking about how it's all lost, but now he's like, wait a minute, but these are the things that give me hope. The very same things that are a detriment are the things that give me hope. His compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. It is good that one should hope and wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. It is good that one should hope and wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. That's what we're trying to do. It is good for a man to bear the yoke of his youth. Let him sit alone and keep silent, because God has laid it on him. Let him put his mouth in the dust. There may yet be hope. Let him give his cheek to the one who strikes him, and be full of reproach, for the Lord will not cast off forever. Though he causes grief, yet he will show compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. For he does not afflict willingly, nor grieve the children of men. God doesn't do this because he likes it. Memory is frequently the bondslave of despondency. Despairing minds call to remembrance every dark foreboding in the past, and dilate upon every gloomy feature in the present. Thus, memory, clothed in sackcloth, presents to the mind a cup of mingled gall and wormwood. There is, however, no necessity for this. This would be us having guilt for the past. Satan loves to use the guilt from the past to bring us down. There is, however, no necessity for this. Wisdom can readily transform memory into an angel of comfort. That same recollection, which in its left hand brings so many gloomy omens, may be trained to bear in its right a wealth of hopeful signs. She need not wear a crown of iron. She may encircle her brow with a fillet of gold, all spangled with stars. Thus it was in Jeremiah's experience. In the previous verse, memory had brought him to deep humiliation and soul. I just mentioned that. My soul hath them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me. And now this same memory restored him to life and comfort. This I recall to my mind. Therefore have I hope. Like a two-edged sword, his memory first killed his pride with one edge, and then slew his despair with the other. As a general principle, if we would exercise our memories more wisely, we might, in our very darkest distress, strike a match which would instantaneously kindle the lamp of comfort. There is no need for God to create a new thing upon the earth in order to restore believers to joy. Charismatics need to pay attention to that. If they would prayerfully rake the ashes of the past, they would find light for the present. And if they would turn to the book of truth and the throne of grace, their candor would soon shine as aforetime. Me and my wife, for the last couple of days, have been burning brush, making a small little pile of it and burning it slowly. So there's not a great big giant pile. And so we've been slowly working our way through it. And when it burns down and it gets low, we go out there and we usually stop about 2 to get plenty of time to burn down to the ground. But we'll go out there and we'll rake the ashes open. And then the fire comes back up. All the heat comes back up. And so it'll ash it down even quicker. So I'm literally doing something right now that likens right to what he was talking about. Rake the ashes, the fire comes back up. That's what's called stoking the fire. You stir those coals up, get some more air in there, and they fire back up nice and hot. Be it ours to remember the loving kindness of the Lord and to rehearse his deeds of grace. Let us open the volume of recollection, the Bible, which is so richly illuminated with memorials of mercy, and we shall soon be happy. Thus, memory may be, as Coleridge calls it, the bosom spring of joy, and when the divine comforter bends it to his service, it may be chief among earthly comforters. Why would we look to our bad memories for comfort? Because this is what Jeremiah was doing. Why would we look to bad memories for our comfort? Why would we look back and go, look at the person I was, and then have great guilt over that and even condemnation within ourselves because of it? Where's the joy in that? Where's the hope in that? That a man or a woman like that could be saved. And then even though we were that, God still saved us. There's your hope. The joy is in knowing that this is what I was and he still chose me to be saved. Amazing. So if it's possible for me to be saved, it's possible for anybody to be saved. What Satan loves to do is when we start going down memory lane, he loves to put a nail under our tire of our vehicle and blow a tire out so that we're having to stop and there's issues, and struggling with it. We're going down memory lane. He loves to lead us off into things and imaginations that have nothing to do with the memory. He loves to distract us and lead us or point us or even push us into a direction where it would cause us to just get into depression and self-denial, self-corruption, self-condemnation because we're so horrible. Lord, you can't possibly have saved me. What would it be about me to save me? There's no way. No way I can be saved. What we realize is that even though we were that, we were saved. And then we start to look back with discerning eyes and we start to pay attention and see where his hand was working in all those things. Where he was using those very same things to change us. That takes Satan's narrative and throws it in the dumpster. See, he saved us from all those sins in the past. And how funny and how amazing is he saved us from all the sins of our future as well. Because when the Lord saves somebody, it's complete. This is a great hope. This is a great joy. This is a great encouragement. No matter what happens, he's always there. And he's always been there, especially for those who are called by his name. He's always been there the whole time through everything. When we walked in rebellion, when we walked as unsaved, he was there, guiding our steps, leading us, teaching us, putting people in our path and things in our path to cause us to wake up. And when the time was right, he woke us up and showed us the truth. And now, here at the end, he's showing us even more truth. And so when we look back at those bad memories, and look back and look at what kind of a disgusting person we were, and some of the things that we did and thought, if he saved me from that, I know he can save me from anything in the future. And this is an incentive for us to look at the future and go, I'm not going to do those things. I'm going to fight them tooth and nail. I'm going to think about God and look to God and call on God in these situations instead of just immediately doing what the world wants. We have a greater future to look forward to. We put our faith and trust in him for our salvation. Not us. We couldn't save ourselves before. We certainly can't save ourselves now. And we can't save ourselves in the future. Only He can do that. And He has done that. And since we can't look far enough back in the past to see when He decided to save us, like we talked about this morning, we certainly can't look farther in the future. Can't even look 1 minute in the future. If that's the case, then we must trust Him for our salvation. Because it is a wonderful blessing to be saved by the Lord, but it's even more of a blessing to know that no matter what, He still will save me. I can't mess up my salvation. I can only mess up my reward, but I can't mess up my salvation. And I struggle with that we can mess up our reward. I think the Lord has already put it into focus. It's already been manifest. Don't know. Haven't gotten to that point yet to see those things, but it is a remarkable thing to know that the Lord has got us in the palm of His hand, and there is nothing that will change that. There's nothing that will come in between us. So when those bad memories come up, don't condemn yourself. Stop and give thanks to the Lord for saving you and forgiving you those sins, and ask Him to forgive you the ones you do now and to forgive you the ones you do in the future. If He's going to go through all this effort to save us, He's going to save us. There's no you sinning your way out of salvation. There's no you being too far gone for the Lord to save. Nobody is too far gone. He can save the worst of the worst. So don't let that condemnation get to you. Don't let that bring you down. Don't let that stop you from following the Lord. In fact, it should cause you to follow Him all the more. Those things should cause you to run further to Him and closer to Him and latch on more to Him. Therefore, you will consequently run away from Satan, and he will have no power over you, no effect over you, no nothing over you. It's a beautiful thing. Turn to the Lord. Problem solved. So don't let this world bring you down. Don't let these people bring you down. Turn to God. Turn to Jesus Christ. Stay focused on Him. Stay where He is. We don't have nothing to worry about. Stay inside the room. Don't go out the door. Stay in the room. Those that are out the door, they're going to stay out there. Leave them there. Share the truth. Call out to them, but stay with the Lord. Don't go where they are. And when those memories come up, we'll just push them to the side and say, Lord, thank you for forgiving me those things. Thank you for saving me from those things. Thank you for saving me from myself. That you may be glorified. Love you all very much. I bless you all in Jesus' name, and I'll see you in the next video.